Well, we made the approximately 12-mile dirt road drive out here to Reiley Peak relatively quickly. My brother's 4Runner handled it with no problems. And we're getting ready to hike up. We have to drop down into the canyon, cross over the canyon, get up to that ridge over there in the center, and then take that basically all the way up to the summit. So Patrick's just getting over sickness. Josh is coming up. He just has not been doing much physical activity at all, mostly due to his job. I'm just an old man. So between all that, we may take a lot longer on this peak than we think we're gonna take, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, Reiley Peak is right in the center now. I think it's the point kind of on the right of the center peak, further out in the distance. So we're just going to continue up this ridge, which looks pretty nice right now, and then probably hit more vegetation further up, and then a little bit steeper closer to the top too. I'm taking just another little break. I'm almost at another saddle. Josh and Patrick are catching up now. And then it looks like it's gonna get a little bit steeper on the next half of the hike. For the most part, you're able to see any rocks on the path. And we've been following the cow paths, and they've been pretty well defined in a lot of places. I can see Josh down there. Patrick's catching up. He's somewhere below me on the slope. Here's looking at the ridge that we've come up so far. And then here's the rest of the ridge here, so we don't have to drop much at all. It looked like it was going to be worse, but it's not much. We'll just continue on up the ridge, and then the last final push straight up to the summit up there. Josh and Patrick made it past that last high point, and they're down somewhere on the ridge. And I'm almost at the last saddle here. So it's not too far at all from here. That's it right there, the Reiley Peak summit. So just a tiny little descent, and then one more push, and it'll be another prominence peak in the books. Well, I walked out a little further than this, and this looks like the other high point right around here. So I'm going to head back to the true high point, which you can tell from here is definitely higher. Not much higher, but it's higher for sure by, I don't know, at least 20 to 30 feet. Patrick made it up. We're still waiting on Josh, but I'm going to get the 360 view from the summit of Reiley Peak. So I'm looking east, and now southeast here, there's Dos Cabezas, Chiricahua Mountains and Chiricahua Peak covered in clouds a little bit. Swiss Hell Mountain. And we have Mount Glen, May West Peaks, and a little bit closer. And then further back, Miller Peak. And then Apache Peak. Mount Wrightson, and Rincon Peak and Mica Mountain here. And further off in the distance to the west, Coyote Mountain and Kip Peak. Here's Mount Lemon. Bassett Peak right here, Reiley Peak's prominence peak neighbor. And it's a little darker further to the north. Some cool clouds. I think I see Mount Turnbull and Pinnacle Ridge. And then spinning to the northeast, Arizona's most prominent mountain, Mount Graham. Looking pretty awesome. All these peaks provide their own great views in a way. This is an awesome vantage point here, just from the amount of other prominence peaks you can see. And again, once again, we're just relegated to a lot of haze further out on the horizon, so we're not seeing, you know, super far, but it's pretty nice. I mean, this peak is definitely well worth it for the views. It's not that long. I mean, the dirt road drive could be a problem for, you know, if you don't have the right vehicle. We made it probably in under an hour, and I know trip reports were saying an hour and 10 to an hour and 30, but we made it relatively fast. Maybe they drove down a little further. But it's, I mean, if you have the vehicle, and obviously if you're going after the prominence peak list, you're going to want to get this one, but it's really pretty nice, and these views are pretty awesome. Here's looking back on the final slope up to the summit. So this is probably the steepest section other than the climb out of the canyon, which may be a little bit steeper than this. Well, I went this way on the way up. I might as well go this way on the way back. Right under this old tree here. And this is a more level section of the ridge for a little while. But basically, I think we have one more semi-steeper slope, and then it'll be just a gradual slope all the way down from there until we get to the canyon. Patrick's in white coming down the slope. Josh is in black. I have no idea how I pulled so far ahead of them. They must have stopped for something. I'm just resting now. I'm going to let them catch up. They're still a good ways back. It's going to take them at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to get down probably, if not longer.
How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm feeling it.
Alright. And Josh is still pretty far up there. Look to the right a little bit.
Yeah, I
See him? Yeah.
Let's just wait for him.
Well, Patrick and I have been laying down for a little while, and Josh made it back and he's resting. We have less than 2 miles back in the easier half of the hike. We're just all relaxing. This is probably the first time we've both laid down on a hike, as far as I remember. It feels pretty good. Josh and Patrick are still taking a break. I decided to leave. I took the keys. I'm gonna pull the car down right to the top of the road at least. Patrick, Josh, and I are all finished up with Reiley Peak. I ended up with about 6.9 miles. My elevation gain was messed up, but I'll post the GPS track in the video description. And we just have to make the 12 or so mile drive out of here. Anyway, we're glad to be done with this one. It was a fun hike, but definitely deceptive, because from right here it looks actually pretty close, and it's a lot farther than what it looks. Alright, signing off from southeastern Arizona on the hike of Reiley Peak. Hopefully we'll be back at it again pretty soon. Thanks for watching.